to downtown Coolsville. Population? Us.
That's incredible inertia.
Maybe it's just glad to see you.
What's in your head?
I was looking for the kids.
Where, in a coal mine?
They're in the backyard.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Oh, they want to play mini-golf, eh? 2 can play at that game. Or even 4, depending on the number of ball colors available.
Yo, Kate, where do you keep your casserole dishes?
Why?
The cat won't fit in the toaster.
Hello and welcome to the untitled swearing sci-fi show.
Yes,
With-
you may hear some occasional swear words, not from Rob or I.
Yeah, with me, Tom, and the wife. She can't hear us, I don't think. Oh, you can. She's playing Resident Evil Requiem behind us, swearing, being scared. So if you do hear the odd fuck, shit, bugger, and maybe even the odd C-bomb,
Ooh.
maybe, if you're lucky, you might get a C-bomb. That's not us.
For once.
I don't think you'll get picked up on the mic, but she did say sorry. How you been?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Exhausted after this bloody bug we've both had.
It's still going for me.
Yeah, no, it is. Yesterday, full-on sinus headache, had to go to bed, and it vaguely disappeared between about 11 and midnight fully, so I got a good night's sleep. But, yeah, this blibbing cough.
You've had the cough.
I've now got the bloody
that.
cough, which is always gets me at this time of year. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Whatever this was, COVID.
Yeah, probably COVID. It's been different every day. Every day it's been a little bit different. Yesterday I had the same. We had a headache and kind of horrible stuff all at the same time. I was mentioning I was in the dark in the front room. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just sat.
But that's the thing. I realised, I was like, oh, should I just go to bed now? And it's like, this isn't a headache. This is sinus, isn't it? So this sleep's not going to help this.
No.
And that's the worst case about this bug. When it first started, I had 24 hours of sinus pain. That was so intense, it woke me up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't get back to sleep. It was that painful. It's like, what is this? This is horrible.
Yeah, I had the headache as well. I don't think it's sinus, but I don't seem to get it as bad as you, the sinus stuff. But then I woke up in the middle of the night with an incredibly bad stomachache.
Oh.
And then I managed to go back to sleep again, and then woke up and it's gone.
Oh,
it's
nice.
like it's just opening up a little surprise every moment of the day. What new things is disease going to give me this time?
Is it stomachache? Is it diarrhea?
Yeah, who knows?
It's the
Could be anything.
Pepto-Bismol advert that they've started doing.
I mean, I have had a few cans of Coke recently, so I have been kind of deflating like a burst balloon. So it might have something to do with it. No, guess the intro.
Yeah,
to talk about, because obviously I did get a message from Matt APOC saying that what's the editing software they use?
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember which, but he said that software, I've got it written down, you can do screen recording with it, like audio. You can capture the audio you're listening to on the computer.
Yep.
So that might be how I have to do it. If it's not going to take me forever, or I might just have to change my work kind of rotation. Just do one night I do the guess the intro, and then another night I do the episode. It's coming back. It might be at the start of this one. I don't know because I haven't done it yet. That's future Rob's problem. So let's talk about Star Trek.
Enter authorization code.
Okay, so I don't really remember it.
Which lucky I do,
Luckily
because
you
I
do,
finished watching it this evening, actually.
Because I watched it when it come out, which was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so we are talking about episode number 6, I believe, which
Come
is...
Let's Away, it says it's called on IMDb.
And
I remember liking it.
Yeah, the blip is cadets face a deadly new threat during their first training mission aboard a derelict vessel, forcing them to fight for their lives as Nala turns to an unlikely ally for assistance. It's a really, really solid episode. After it came out, all I saw was hate for it, which I thought was really weird. Lots of people say, even people that was like, we're a fan of this so far, or we're growing to like it, were giving negative, and I don't get why.
I don't get why no one doesn't like it. I mean, look, Paul, how do you say his name? Glamarty plays Nusbracker. He's great. I really like him, and he's getting a little bit of pushback. But I think he's kind of eccentric, kind of
Paul
alien,
Giamatti.
evil guy.
He plays it brilliantly.
I
And
quite
you know
like
what?
it.
He is Starfleet's Academy version of Mud from Discovery. So if you remember
Yeah,
Mud and
Mud,
that
yeah.
whole
Yeah,
time
yeah.
loop episode, which is probably the only episode of Discovery I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really solid, fun, clever episode. This is their kind of version of him.
Yeah.
But obviously he is going to be the prime bad guy for this season, as Picard had the Borg as always. It feels like Starfleet Academy has him for this series.
Strangely, we also have the Gorn.
Yeah, we've got the Gorn in Strange New Worlds, and it feels like I can't remember their race now or what they call themselves. Led by him, though, that is what feels like is going to be their main issue for this whole series. And he plays it well. He plays it brilliantly. The whole scene where he's sat with Nala and he's just trying to have this conversation with her, and he's basically just absolutely cutting into her. So, you left your son to die. You didn't even leave your crew to go and be by yourself. That must be like a trauma loop for you. It must go on forever because there's no end, is there, for you?
Yeah, yeah.
And all this. And it's wonderful because I've got to say, the captain is still growing on me. And there's a brilliant... I know we've joked about the fact that why doesn't she wear shoes? And this whole feeling comfortable on the bridge sort of thing has grated on some people. But the very next episode, have you watched any of the next episode?
No, I've not seen
yet?
anything past this.
Okay. Spoiler for the next episode, but it doesn't spoil it too much. Basically, the very beginning of the episode explains it's a holiday on Earth. So the academy is basically closed for Easter holidays.
Okay.
And everyone's gone to various places. And Caleb just doesn't want to go to this host family who's got to pretend to be kind of, oh, we'll look after you for this holiday. So he gets to stay at the academy. But he's having this argument with Nala in her apartment, whatever you want to call it. And she's packing this suitcase and she's packing it atrociously. Things are just being thrown in there. She's trying to close it and you can see it's just clearly not going to close. And Caleb goes over and says, you just don't know how to pack, do you? You've got 4 pairs of boots in it. You don't even wear shoes. It's like, that's an absolutely brilliant Brit there. I love it.
Yeah. They're calling her out on it.
Yeah, so I love the fact they're starting to have fun with that sort of thing. But going back to the episode, obviously we've got this weird race, which we've never come across before, with this weird, blurry face. Really thinking early 2000s sort of horror, when they always used to do that sort of, oh, it's meant to be a spooky thing, so the person who was possessed, their face would do that whole weird screaming shaky thing. Very much like that, I felt. But even to the point that this felt like this is Starfleet Academy trying to set up, this is their version of the Kobayashi Maru from the original Star Trek series, where of course Kirk cheats and he's the only person that's ever succeeded in it, and we get that whole storyline. Caleb turns up and he cheats, although it's not in the rules that he can use programmable matter to get past this thing that he gets past.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
they didn't really set a rule to say he couldn't do something. He just kind of just did it.
Exactly. So we get this whole bit. They're on the ship. This new race turns up, takes them hostage. I like the fact that the training captain from the war college basically just sacrifices himself brutally as well. The sound effects of him being ripped to shreds.
But I want to say his name is Barvey.
No, that's the war college cadet that gets killed at the end.
Oh, sorry.
He jumps in.
Oh, yeah, you're talking
either Vulcan
about
or
You're
whatever.
talking about Tomov.
Tomov, yeah, that's the one. Yes, Tomov, gets ripped to shreds to start with. And then obviously, Barvey throws himself in front of the phaser to save Caleb. So it's some really poignant episode in some ways, because you're getting the point that the War College has been making fun of the Starfleet Academy people, that they don't believe in Starfleet, but they still put their life on the line.
But
for
also,
them.
he's a what race is he again?
Well, we're trying to work out, is he Vulcan?
He's Vulcan.
Yeah, okay.
And it kind of just feels like he's using logic too. It's like he's not using his emotions. He knows he doesn't like Caleb. He doesn't like Caleb at all. But the logic is there. It says, my job is to protect these people. Also, Caleb is like their way out.
He's the only one in
it's
communication.
Like, everyone can get out if he's alive. Take me. It's the only option. I can get to save you. I can get there. Logic says I should sacrifice myself for this person, whether he likes it or not. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to die because I didn't dislike him. I didn't dislike anyone in the War College. I just
No, I
they're
think
great antagonists to the
well,
show.
this is it. It's a perfect antagonist that isn't really an antagonist. It's
Yeah.
just there to cause a little bit of friction, and it gives it that little bit more kind of flavor and texture, which it needed, and it works brilliantly.
Yeah.
So it was a shame that they killed him off, but it was interesting that they don't kill Sam off, who has a really good role in this episode, communicating with the ship, getting it up and running, and then ending up with this glitch, which I'm guessing is going to be an ongoing story arc at some point.
I reckon so.
I don't think she's obviously going to go and get fixed day one, and then we're never going to hear about it again. I think that's going to be something. Whether or not it's her version of being given emotions and so on, like Data, I don't know.
Well, just as I called the Klingons' relationship with that guy,
I called the Tamarina
Tamarina,
thing.
yeah.
She's got that thing because she's fucking lethal.
She's
like
apocalyptic.
The Phoenix. Yeah,
Yeah.
She's like the Phoenix from that terrible X-Men version of the films. She basically can't really control herself and blew her dad's eardrums out.
That's where her dad's deaf, yeah.
But I mean, obviously she'll come back. I can't see
absolutely.
that they'll just bin her off.
No.
But I absolutely saw that coming, that she was going to be some sort of this wailing banshee, sort of emotion-filled power driver, which again worked. When you compare that to the story arcs that bloody Deanna Troi was given in fucking Star Trek: The Next Generation, at least this one's been given a bit of power. She's actually using her Betazoid powers and going, you know what, this is what I have, and they're making use of it, not just walking on the bridge going, Captain, I feel that everyone's feeling anxious at the moment. Yes, because we're under attack, Deanna. I think we all know this one already. No one's going to be happy.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, it only got 6.6 on IMDb, but that's the highest rated episode so far. I'm not looking forward to the next episode. 4.5 on IMDb, the worst rated one, and IMDb has hated all of them. So,
yeah,
interesting. But again, I mean, whilst I think their scores are low, their scores are tracking scale-wise with what I think as well. I think that was probably one of the better episodes of it. I actually really liked the episode.
Yeah.
So, but as we've already said, these kind of things don't really matter to us anyway. But yeah, I don't think this, as we've said already, I don't think a Star of the Academy is going to probably have more than 2 seasons.
No, it's not going to rock out.
I don't hate it.
I'm actually not even secret. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I love the little bits they put in. Not too sure about the constant little jokes that they throw in with the announcer in the college. Whenever you get a new
because
day
it's Stephen
or
Colbert.
It's just some sort of PA saying something silly, and it's like it doesn't quite fit.
Yeah, but the announcer's played by Stephen Colbert. That's why. So he's getting his, they've paid for this guy. So they're getting him as well.
Fair enough.
And the thing is, you're saying that, I don't actually think I even notice it. Every time I see he's in an episode, I'm like, who is he again? To the fact that I'm completely oblivious to this voiceover that he's doing. Maybe because I don't recognize his voice, or that it just doesn't resonate with me even remotely to be annoyed with it or enjoy it at all. I'll listen out for it in the next episode. I'll purposely try and listen out for it and see if I notice it.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Because is he the narrator?
It literally seems to be. So you know how in a shopping mall, let's say, or a train station, you've got that PA voice that says what's going on, or this
that's
is
him.
coming up.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
and it's always comedic. It's always something silly.
Oh, okay. Well,
so yeah, keep an ear out, and you will pick up on them. A few things I did really like on this. So Nussbracker says what his full name is, Nustafa.
Mustafa.
Which I just thought was stupid, but quite enjoyed. What I would love to know what he meant by is when he turns up and he sees Nala and he sees the Admiral there as well. I believe his terms is I'm wanked, spanked, and something else ready to go. It's like, okay. Not quite sure that means the same thing in American as it does to the UK.
Yeah, maybe not.
And also the trivia-wise, and I did go back and rewatch this just to make sure. The Miyazaki, which is the ship that they're on, is a redress of the Enterprise bridge from Strange New Worlds.
Oh, so using the same
set, which has been a tradition in
but
Paramount
to be fair,
and Star
it makes
Trek.
sense. If you actually think about it logically, not just from a production standpoint, but from actual making ships.
Yeah, if you
they
look-
would be of a standard.
If you look at some of the original series films, they are filmed using next generation ship areas. So the corridors are often the next generation corridor. The bridge is the battle bridge, I think, on one of them from the Enterprise D, which we only see once or twice in the next generation. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. There were some good moments in it. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I'm hoping they don't just drop it as some sort of, oh, we've taken care of it, and suddenly it goes off on a whole different arc. I want that to be the main focus now, is hunting down Bracker and getting him to deal with this. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to call another thing. He says there is a present on its way for Nala in that final hologram transmission he sends her, and it's going to turn up with a red bow on it, and you won't know what hit you. It's Caleb's mother. He is looking at any way to take away Caleb from her again, just like she's lost her son. She's basically building this kind of attempt to reform having another son through Caleb, and I reckon the mother's been programmed or something like that.
I was just about to say,
and she's going to turn up.
Be her in some way.
Yeah, and it'll be a conclusion to the series where Caleb needs to make a decision. Does he go with his mother or does he stay with Nala and Starfleet? And that's how I think the series is going to end.
It'd be her, but
On a
she'd have
cliffhanger
been, it'd
as
be
well.
her, but she'd have been Stockholm syndromed into loving Bracker in some
Yeah,
way.
I would imagine. Yeah, she'll be
Yeah.
Bracker's wife or something.
Yeah, it'd be something like that. Someone here is, they do like plot holes and stuff. It says here, Bracker says the hills are alive with the sound of murder, paraphrasing The Sound of Music, 1965. But it strains credulity that an alien pirate would know a song from Earth film that is over 1,200 years old, let alone be familiar enough with it to be making jokes at the top of his head.
That's very true.
I mean, it's obviously for our benefit, but yeah, I mean, if you care that much.
Yeah, but if you're going to care that much, then you're never going to enjoy anything in
I know, exactly.
fiction.
Well, that's Star Trek fans for you. Go on then. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I watched, as I say, Strange New Worlds. Now, I did watch a new film. So actually,
You watched Strange New Worlds?
Not Strange New Worlds. Strange Days, sorry, is the film.
Yeah.
And watched not Strange
Academy.
New World. Academy, thank you. We've started watching Wednesday with our oldest.
Oh, okay. You're letting her what you did say. You
Well,
were
it's
gonna let
a
her know
12 certificate.
Yeah.
So we're sitting through it with her
She's
now.
12.
I think, yep, we're on episode 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't say I absolutely care about it. So if Jem and Kay were to suddenly watch an episode without me,
You wouldn't be bothered.
I wouldn't be upset. I'd like to know what happened, but there's not a part of me actively saying I absolutely need to be there
Yeah,
for it.
fair enough.
So I've enjoyed it, but
I like Wednesday, but yeah.
I mean, there's a few things in it that I don't like, and again, Jem will give you her feedback at some point, no doubt. But Zeta Jones, for example, just doesn't feel like Morticia. In fact, the entire portrayal that we've had of Gomez and Morticia up to episode 3 is very minimal. But having grown up with the 90s version of Morticia and Gomez, they are so ingrained in me, and they felt so perfect, even though they don't match that of the newspaper strips that they originally came from.
Mm-hmm.
Burton did just, again, especially with Morticia, Tim Burton, and I don't know if you noticed this or if you know this, but in both Addams Family films that Burton did, Morticia, the only time you ever see her, she has a strip of light across her eyes.
That's the way she's filmed.
And
yeah.
it's just perfect. And the way she just portrays and just
Like an
her,
elegance to her,
it's
isn't
just
there?
full. Whereas Zeta Jones just kind of felt like, as much as a good actress as she, I felt she was very flat.
No, okay, so give it a chance. It really is Wednesday, season 1.
Mhm.
It's all about her. Everyone else is a bit character, in my opinion. Season 2, it's Addams Family.
Right. Okay.
I'd say season 2 is way more Addams Family than it is Wednesday.
Gotcha.
They're all in it.
Yeah.
You know, Pugsley's in it. You know, Mum and Dad are in it loads. It's you get you. Yeah, I liked her, but I fancy Catherine Zeta-Jones. So what can I say? Rand's not making a comment.
I'm surprised you don't. Oh, what was she in? That wasn't All Creatures Great and Small, was it? What was
Darling
that?
Birds of May.
That was it. Darling Birds of May. Yeah.
Buds. Darling
Buds.
Birds of May. Yeah, I used to watch that on my nan's. I always remember them having the roast dinners in the bathtub. I always used to just find that hilarious. The mum and dad eating their roast dinners.
I've never seen it. I've never seen the
pretty sure someone can remember. I'm pretty sure every episode ended with the mum and dad in the bubble bath.
As it was Del Boy, wasn't it? It was David Jason.
David Jason and his farmer wife in the bathtub, loads of bubbles. Do you remember those things used to go across the bathtubs? Yeah, that with plates on, having a roast dinner, like a full-on chicken and stuff. It always used to look incredibly nice, I've got to say. Yeah.
So we've started Wednesday. Been playing Ark Raiders after buying it, after seeing you guys stream it. I felt like I just had to play it. Really enjoying it. Chose the wrong time to start playing it, obviously, because now I understand about this whole expedition thing that goes on. Still don't really fully understand it, but
it did a reset
I've not
yesterday.
signed up yet. Nothing really makes clear about what the reset is and whether it's going to apply to you. And that's what started freaking me out.
It hasn't applied to me.
It doesn't apply to anyone unless they've signed up to be part of the expedition. And you've got to be level 20 minimum to sign up for it.
I think it's like when you prestige in Call of Duty, my very minimal understanding of it is that you get to keep all your blueprints and stuff.
Oh, no, so you lose all of that. You can only
I thought you kept your blueprints.
I don't think so. I think basically you lose almost everything except for...
There's
stuff
something
that really
permanent.
Doesn't. Yeah,
there's something that does get permanented to your character as a payment for it.
Things that don't really matter to actually the game you keep, but things that you could use actually in game disappear.
Okay.
So I think your weapons, your blueprints, your stash, your room gets reset, all of that. But basically, the payment of it is that you get something that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, I knew there was something that you get. I mean, if I reset, I wouldn't be losing anything.
Well, this is it. But the point is because that reset was due, apparently, if you read up and look at all the videos that people have said, the reason there's so many people just going on PvE at this point, so player versus each other, rather than, PvP rather than player versus enemy, is because they've got nothing to lose. They're just taking all their good weapons, they're going out and they're just being dicks because they know that when it resets, they're all gone. They can't keep hold of them. So
that's why we were having loads of
PvP I reckon that's why we ended up getting...
encounter.
That's why they said PvP tends to go up around a reset time, because they've just got to use the weapon. They don't really have a...
They don't care at that point.
They don't really care at that
Whereas
point. They're just getting rid of it.
Player versus environment, people are getting fucked over. So I've enjoyed every single time I've played it, except when I played it on my own yesterday. It's the only time I haven't enjoyed it. So I did 6 rounds.
Yeah.
The first 4, I died. So the first one, I lost my reasonably okay weapons, a really nice pistol I really liked and stuff, lost that. And it's like, but I felt I lost because it just felt really difficult last night. I just was constantly getting bombarded by the robots.
Well, and
like out of nowhere, I have 4 and a flamethrower one on me. Out of nowhere. Not like I couldn't hear them before, because I'm a bit kind of nervous. I look out and have a look around, but like we do together, nothing there. As soon as I'm in the middle of nowhere, flames, things, I'm dead. I was like, okay. And by the time, and because I kept trying to get to that bit that you said, and I kept failing it, I have to watch the video. There must be a particular place you have to stand to drop off. I'm getting that wrong, I think.
It's just to the right of the middle. If you turn your back to it and take a step right from the middle, if you step back, you can actually then see the ledge below.
Well, I think I'm at the point where I'm giving up doing that, because basically that's one of the reasons I died, because I fell off, I used all of my bandages, and then I just got one shot by an arc and died.
Yeah.
So that was the second time I died. And then the other 2, again, it felt cheap. I'd collected loads of stuff. I was happy. I had a blueprint on one of them, and I'm running back, and I had a golden epic stock, but I put that in my safe pocket. One shot by an arc going up to the fucking exit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, for God's sake. And after the 4th time, I was like, sod this. I was so angry at it. And then I was like, you know what? After dying like 4 times, it unlocked a new level, gave me a new quest. I went, you know what? I'm just going to go here. All I have to do is go there, and it's part of the quest. So I did it once, took some stuff. Great. Had a couple of nice interactions with people.
Yes,
said hello and stuff. I was like, great. And I'm like, okay, the next part of the mission, I have to just search 3 robots. I must have seen 20 robots when I like dead cyborgs on the ground. So I'll just go back exactly where that was. Went there, they weren't there. Great. So I spent 20 minutes running around. Got it. And it's like a big factory. So it's all inside, apart from this big long tube that's open to the world. in the middle, and it had one of the big walkers and loads of the flying ones round it. I was like, oh God, I'm not coming out here. And I walked back in, found the robots, and I was like, okay, I've got like 10 minutes left. Went out, and there was just a carnage was going on. So I went out there, and there was 5 people just fighting it. So I went and I just popped a couple of pot shot at it, got myself some experience. They blew it up, had some conversations. Somebody was crawling around going, he must have been role playing. He was like, excuse me, please, sir, Raider, please, sir. have you got any deeper? I was like, no, I'm sorry, dude. I got one. No one had one. He's like, okay, never mind there, never mind. And he's crawling down to where the exit was.
That's probably a streamer then, isn't it? Let's face it.
It was quite fun. So I had, after having 4 terrible games, to the point where I wanted to turn it off, I then had 2 quite nice ones.
I feel like they're kind of in this place that Helldivers got to, where they screwed it up for one player kind of raids. Helldivers went from this brilliant, you could sit down, you could spend half an hour, do a mission on your own, even heading towards hard, you could do a mission on your own. It was a push, but as long as you didn't mind just running, not doing the extras, but just doing the 2 main mission points and then getting the fuck out of there, you could. And then they rolled out that patch up and it was impossible. And then it was even more impossible if you had more of you. And it feels like Ark is kind of maybe towards that, where if you're on your own, the odds are just as bad for you if there were 4 of you.
Yeah.
Except they're all aimed at you now.
Well, I'm just wondering if you queue up as a single, if you just get put in matches with other people that have queued as singles. Because every time I found someone, apart from that time where everyone was shooting at a thing, I didn't see anyone going around in groups. It was all single interactions with single people. But when I've gone around with you, I always seem to see people in pairs. But every time I've been around with you, that's when I notice that there's, not saying you're the jinx, I found the arseholes. I've not had a bad human interaction on my own.
No, and then again, it might be a leveling thing. It might just be that people have started playing it and they're at the same level I am, and that's what we're getting matched. I honestly don't know. But I am looking forward to doing a bit more teamwork on it, whether it's just myself and you or whether we get Chris and Mark involved as well and we do a foursome on it. But no, I've been enjoying Art Raiders. And then finally, the other thing I've done is I watched a film called Argyle, which I've kept meaning to watch for a while. So it's directed by, I want to tell you, Matthew Vaughn.
Okay.
Matthew Vaughn's the one that basically, and why I clicked back once I'd got that, drives me mad when I do dumbass things like that. So I'm now just going to have to find where it was. Matthew Vaughn, so he's known for and being producer of Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, Stardust, Kingsman, or in fact all the Kingsman films, Silent Night, Bloodshot. I quite enjoyed Bloodshot, but it is a terrible film. And the Tetris
Vin
film.
Diesel Bloodshot. Yeah, I remember it.
I had fun with it, if I'm honest. I enjoyed it as just a fun. I
can't remember thinking it was okay.
It's not a cracking film, but it's a bit of fun.
Is it? He's got the little robots.
Nanites in him. He dies, they resurrect him, they wipe his memory every time, blah blah blah. So that's the director, and especially the Kingsman. I've got a very soft spot, big soft spot for the first. I've not seen the third one, which is meant to be the kind of the World War II.
That one I haven't seen,
but the first 2 really enjoyed those. So think Argyle is Kingsman, but specifically for Apple because it's only on Apple TV. The film. Oh, he's let himself go a little bit on it. It feels like I quite like the idea of it, but it goes on for a bit too long. It's basically a Kingsman-esque spy film without the people that you'd normally expect in it. So
not the same actors.
No. Well, Samuel L. Jackson's in it still. So you've got Bryce Dallas Howard, who you may know from things like Jurassic World. She's Ron Howard's daughter, the ginger-haired one. You've got Henry Cavill for a very small amount of it. Sam Rockwell, amazing actor. You've got Samuel L. Jackson. Who else is in it, actually? Let me have a
Sam Rockwell, who I'm thinking of, Green Mile.
Moon, all of those, phenomenal.
He plays a good mental guy.
Yeah, Dua Lipa's in it.
Dua Lipa's in it.
Richard E. Grant's in it. John Cena's
You've sold
in
me.
it.
Dua Lipa's in it.
But no, there's some big names in it. And I mean, do you want to know? Basically, the story of it is Bryce Dallas Howard's character's a writer. She's writing all these stories. She then gets kind of kidnapped by Sam Rockwell, who explains that her stories somehow are exactly what a bad agency has actually done and is following, and basically she's managing to predict what they're going to do next.
Okay, fun. That's interesting.
It then turns out... do you want me to spoil it for you?
Maybe not, because I might watch it.
No, okay. It's worth watching. You won't see some of the twists coming. It does go on for too long. What I do want you to do, though, is press pause for a moment. I'm going to show you two scenes, one from Argyle and one from the Transporter, and I want to tell you, see which one did it best. And we're back in the room. So what I just showed Rob there were two scenes, one from Argyle and one from the Transporter, years apart in films. And the Transporter is the first time I'd kind of seen an oil scene fight. So he tips over the oil on the floor of the garage he's having a fight in, covers himself in oil, becomes a slip and slide, and then goes over to a bike, stomps the metal pedals off, which, let's face it, if you've ever ridden a bike and you've had one of those pedals hit you in the shin, you know exactly what teeth are on them for the
kicking
grip.
in the face with them.
So it kind of makes sense. And then he uses that to get the grip in the oil and kicks the shit out of everyone. Then we have Argyle, which the floor is already flooded with oil. They've been told we can't shoot a gun because it'll all go up in flames, blah, blah, blah. Not sure if that's too believable, to be honest. She stomps on two sharp knives and turns them into ice skates. And straight away, in my head, I'm thinking, Transporter, everything he did in that is believable, even to the point where he kicks himself off someone using kind of physics that equal reaction to what you'd act to an action, where he pushes off and then gets pushed backwards, is all real. Then you've got her doing ice skating on crude oil on concrete floor. So basically those knives, they're not going to glide across the top of the oil like ice. They're going to hit that concrete and she's just going to go smash face first.
You know the Wayans brothers, and they make like Scary Movie, and
yeah.
Do they make the superhero movie and stuff like that as well? Certainly,
no,
there are films in their kind of take.
It's the same formula.
Yeah, I could see people taking the mick out of that, and they stamp on the knives, and the knives go through their feet.
That's it. I mean, let's say, as much as I enjoyed Argyle, there were just a couple of bits I thought Kingsman did it better. They kept it within the realms of fantasy, while
that was silly.
The Argyle one was just over the top silly, whereas there's bits in Kingsman which are over the top silly, but you still watch it and go, yeah, well, that kind of happened when all the guards' heads are exploding and puffs of coloured smoke. Just genius, absolutely cracking scene. But when you pair where obviously they got the inspiration for that oil scene in Argyle from something like the Transporter, just all of it felt like it could be an absolutely real scenario that he's doing. The Argyle just feels so stupid in comparison. Not saying it's not worth watching, it is worth watching. It's just, I just felt it's very weird. But yeah, that's it. Otherwise, I don't think I've watched anything else. It's just been YouTube otherwise.
Oh, well, very good.
What have you been up to?
Arc Raiders, obviously, as we said already. More Tainted Grail. I've kind of got a little bit ahead from where I was before and made a decision of how I was going to progress the story. And now I'm fighting a boss, which is a forced battle that I've got myself into. I am nowhere near equipped enough to kill him. He's battering. I can't even get a quarter of his health off, and he's just absolutely assaulting me. So I think I'm going to have to kind of, when I die, the checkpoint is outside the room, so I might have to go off and kind of figure out how I'm going to do it. Because what I tend to do, the way I play is I'm a battle mage, and I like to summon stuff, so then the people can fight what I've summoned, and then I'll attack them with either my quite powerful sword, or I might use my spells. But he's killing all of my summons in like 2 hits. So I can't spawn them quick enough to damage him enough. And he's like putting some kind of like poison debuff on me. So I'm kind of, doing my own health as well. And I'm not quite understanding how he's doing it. But I only did once and I got killed. So that's what I'm working on with that. Hightail, play more Hightail.
I haven't logged into the server for a while, actually. I do need to jump back on
I'm at a point now, I'm waiting. There's 2 updates on pre-release, and I'm going to wait now until they're both out because they fix some bugs that I'm having, like with the animals and things like that. Like I made like a chicken coop for us chickens, but they won't lay eggs.
Right, gotcha.
Because the bug is tamed chickens won't lay eggs in their coop. That's the bug. He's fixed it,
which is what they're meant to
but
do.
that's 2 pre-releases ahead of,
And we don't want
where-
to touch the
and we don't,
pre-releases.
and then we're not going to do that. And we've got one to come out of pre-release before that one even comes out. And I maxed out the farming thing. I have a little confession. I cheated a bit to get some of the petals. We had to get 300
Mm-hmm.
of all 3 of the really hard petals, and the red ones you can only get in the bone area.
Yeah.
And the flowers only grow on the bones high up.
Yep.
So
And-
I went, you know what? I don't care. I got all the others legitimately because, like, you can grow the plants, right? That's great. That's a really good idea. You use the crystal shards. So you use the blue crystal shards to grow the azure kelp, the yellow ones to grow the thunder flowers, and the red shards to grow the blood flowers. You can only grow the azure petals when you're at level 9.
Mhm.
You need them to get to level 9. That's fucking stupid. And the same with the red ones and the yellow ones. You need them to get to level 10. You can't grow them till you're level 10.
And
Why would you want them at that point?
And it's also, let's face it, it's not also the fact that we've not done exploration. So it's not like we're not just finding it. Our map is already at its limit. So although there's still a whole world, and I know it's meant to be technically infinite or whatever, but the mapping add-ons we've got give you an idea of how much we've explored. Because I could be at where I've built this weird castle thing.
Yeah.
And I can't see any of you guys on the map because you're that far away.
Yeah.
We have explored this giant expanse that the map just doesn't actually work properly between all of us at this point because there's too much of a gap. So it's not like we've done the exploration.
So that's in that second previous update, is that chunks that aren't being loaded will still run. So when at the moment, if you put stuff in the furnace on our
And
base
come out
one
of
and
the
go
map
to your
growth.
base, it'll stop.
Yeah.
It won't now. It will continue and farm, and all the stuff will continue on the other side of the map. So again, that's a fix in it.
And that's why I gave our server lots of memory.
Yeah. So that's one thing, Eddie, because I think that if you the way it should, I know it's all alphas, I think they will probably change it. If I need blue petals to turn it to level 8, I should unlock the plant at level 7.
Mhm.
And then it'll encourage me to do more farming.
Yes.
Because then I do more farming, but you only get the seed blueprint by finding the plant and breaking enough of them down. So next time you're on, you'll see I've got loads of the seeds for everyone to learn how to make them, but that's pointless. Why would I want a level 10 a recipe when I'm only at level 8 on the thing?
No,
and
of
I need
course.
those level 10 flowers to make it.
I think
That's broken there, which is why I thought after I did all the blues and yellows all legitimately, because the yellows are just on top of mountains and blues are in the blue areas. Easy. It took me a couple of evenings to get 300 worth.
Yeah.
The red ones, impossible to do. Impossible to do without just putting yourself into creative mode and flying over to the ones that... We'd found all the areas, so we didn't go and cheat in the way that I went to areas that you hadn't already, because you had already found them, because I could see them on the map. So I'll just go over there and do it.
That bottom south bone area I'd found. You're right. And it feels at the moment, and I'm sure it is because it's pre-alpha, obviously, it feels like you're being cheated a little bit as well, because you climb up to these high spots to get these bloody things. You make one slip, and there's really high chance you're going to kill yourself as well, which is really not on. But obviously things will change. What I'm currently thinking is, as much as I'm having fun with our server and whatever, I do think that when it finally gets to either beta or it gets to release, that world kind of gets archived and we start again from scratch and we say, right, we've learned what we need to do.
Yeah, I think we would do that. I think as soon as it goes, okay, let's just say, for example, on Monday, version 1, this is the retail game. It's now on Steam. This is what we want everyone to be playing. That is when I'd be like, let's make a new server. Let's just start again now. We all know what we're doing. Yeah, and I just say archive it or just have it as a separate thing, just so we can go, maybe I'll save all the prefabs so we can have the houses and stuff that we can call back at a later date. But start again, if we're still into it at that point. I mean, I reckon that's over a year away.
I reckon it's over a year away, and the game is good. And I think, to be fair, it's got the ability to have the same longevity that Minecraft does.
Yeah.
It's just it needs to get to that release candidate phase so that we can sit down and not get to the point of there's nothing more for us to do now until an update comes, because that's where we've got to a couple of times now.
Yeah.
We've built a pub, we've built a house, we've done mining, we've got all of this stuff, we've maxed out the benches. What else is there to do? There's no end point, is there? So there's no Ender Dragon like Minecraft. So
No, I mean, you guys haven't found it yet, but in the area that's next to the bone place, you see all the flying bugs. You've been there.
they're a
There's
pain in the
termite
arse.
mounds, and they're dungeons. And if you go all the way to the bottom, I sent you photos, don't I? There's a queen at the bottom.
Oh,
But the queen isn't finished, didn't fight me back. So all the mobs did, but she was just there and gave me like one heavy leather.
yeah.
It wasn't anything cool for killing her.
And it's like
you
the
know?
Jurassic World you found inside the volcano.
I haven't explored it yet.
Which is phenomenal, but it just still all feels so unfinished, which is understandable. It's a pre-release, but it does need to start moving along a bit, I think, if it's going to keep people's interest, because this is the danger now. A lot of games are coming out similar ilk, like the pirate game you found,
Oh, yeah.
and all of these things, and they're using a similar mechanic, and people are going to go, well, if that's accelerating past this, I could always turn to being a bit of a pirate for a little while.
I've got to tell you, if anyone out there is looking for something to play, costs you no money, Windrose, this is the pirate game to play. If you ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which I did, which was pretty much the first Assassin's Creed game I'd ever played, that game consumed me. I loved it. Everything about it. I absolutely loved that. And I've been chasing that pirate game since. And then Ubisoft, oh yeah, we're going to make a game based just on the pirate ship stuff and that. And it took them years.
You need to go back and play Sid Meier's Pirates.
Skull and Bones is what it was. And it was flipping dreadful. Everyone hated it. Took them too long. And then all of a sudden, one guy on his own, for Steam Next Fest, where all they kind of once a year they release all these demos. He released a demo of his game called Windrose, and it is the game everyone's wanted. So it's a mixture of, if anyone's ever played Valheim, I think I've spoken about it on here briefly. That's a very doesn't hold your hand, very difficult survival game. And what else could I compare it to? One that does hold your hand. I don't know. Can't think of it on my head. But it's a survival game. So the standard chop wood, get your ores and stuff, build your houses. You need this many plant fibers to make walls. And it kind of gives you the thing. You move around, you spin around. You can make these really cool, nice looking buildings and stuff. And then you've got these workbenches. Some of them have to be inside a building, and you get like comfort points, which is what Valheim did. So that encouraged you to build nice looking houses with beds and soft furnishing stuff, because that gave you comfort points, which then gave you better resting, which then meant you had higher stamina regen, all kinds of stuff. So it's got all that. But you're a pirate, and you had a pirate ship. Blackbeard took over your ship, stranded you on a desert island. Pretty standard stuff. In the demo, you get to go all the way up to getting your own massive ship again and a crew of 8 pirates that you have to save. And then you're out on the high seas shooting at other ships.
Yeah.
And you can turn them on to do sea shanties and stuff, just like kind of play. It's brilliant. I had so much fun. I played it for a week. As soon as you destroy your first Blackbeard ship, you get a message come up saying that's the demo. You can't go any further than that.
Gotcha.
But then you get a little bit of a trailer and stuff, and then it boots you back in the game. And now you can there's only 3 islands.
So it's free roam between
now it's free
area.
roam. They keep spawning more ships if you want to go do battles. You can, there's still some things I haven't found, like there's hidden resources. I don't know if they're in the game or not, but you get like a checklist of things you haven't found, like particular enemies, particular fruit, whatever. And yeah, you can just do your house up a bit more, just have a bit of fun, just explore. Excuse me. Yeah, great. I am definitely going to be playing that when it comes out.
So I've just literally been, over the past few days, thinking about kind of things like Hytale, Minecraft, and, as you say, Windrose. One thing I would love someone to try and do, and this may be a little bit retro kind of feeling, but so all these games that we've talked about tonight so far have had that kind of Minecraft design. They've got the inventory in front of you as let's say an 8-box selection screen or whatever it is. You've got your health, your whatever. I would love them to do it in slightly different graphics, but imagine a game like that, like either it could do it as a pirate, could do it space, you could do it whatever really, but in the same inventory style, but the same as Cult of Lamb. So you have your characters and you move them around, but you're moving them around in that kind of semi 3D, 2D, top down sort of view. And that's how you're doing it. But then add in a little bit more like Command and Conquer. So when you go back to your place, then you could choose buildings to build with it. Then you choose your troops. So go for a little bit of Command and Conquer sort of style, populous civilization style building bit where you're building your area. So you're not just, rather than having the whole block building side of it, you're using the same mechanic of going on a cut down tree. Oh, look, that's in my inventory now. I've got that much tree to use, blah, blah, blah. But then also kind of integrating this top down view rather than this whole 3D third person or first person view instead.
So, Peter Molyneux, Populous, Black and White, Fable. He's making a game nearly what you're asking for.
Oh,
so it's a
really?
god game, Black and White-esque. You have a floating hand, you've got your villagers, you're building them, telling them to go off and shop. But you can then zoom all the way down, take over one of them, and be that person in the world and fight them as a hero when you're getting attacked by other places.
Oh, yeah, but you see that. But I want the survival. I want the same survival-based game that Minecraft, Hytale, Windrose has. That's what I want. I don't want it to be. I want it to be that infinite generated world still. I want it still to be random. But I quite like the idea that it's kind of this top-down version of it instead, where you can build your little village and all of that, and then off you go.
I wonder if there is stuff like that already that we just don't know about.
Possibly.
Is. Yeah, because they've got quite a lot of those kind of village and town sims, but I don't know of them being able to go down. But you're right,
but they are more to be simulations than anything. And don't get me wrong, SimCity is one of my favourite games all time, especially SimCity Classic on 95 and 3.1. But yeah, just kind of a Minecraft-esque game that is top-down but still survival, I think could be quite a lot of fun.
Right, should we start talking about Strange Days?
Yeah, we better do.
Accessing library computer data.
1995.
With
Strange Days.
Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett? Yes, Angela Bassett.
Yeah, she's lovely, isn't she?
So
I was going to start rubbing my knees.
Right, well, let me read. So first of all, Strange Days. Neither of us had heard it. 1995. Directed by Catherine Bigelow and written by James Cameron.
Yes,
which
I noticed
explained
that.
quite a lot. And Jay Cox. Also explains quite a lot. Strange Days is a cyberpunk thriller set in the last days of 1999 in Los Angeles, centered around illegal recordings of other people's experiences via a device called Squid. That's the basis of the film, and the long and the short of it is Ralph Fiennes' character is involved in illegal distribution of people's...
He's like a drug dealer in memories.
Precisely. He's becoming paranoid. Bad things are happening. The world is kind of falling down around them, coming up to the millennium. Everyone's scared of the millennium. And it turns out his paranoia may have turned out to be somewhat genuine.
Yeah, not a paranoia.
It's an odd film. It is a very odd film. And it failed. If you read up on it, it failed when it was released. But it's slowly becoming more of a cult classic. Because, dare I say, back in 95... the world was not as jaded as it is now. And when you compare the storyline, which we'll talk about no doubt in a minute, to what's going on, especially in the world in the past, let's say 6 years alone, Jesus, it mirrors it almost perfectly.
Yeah. One of the things I want to say about it, one of the reasons I liked it is also one of the reasons I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm very on the fence about this, but there's a very big reason why I don't like it, which I'll get to later. but the kind of world building and the aesthetics of it is very good. It's all very believable.
Yes.
You can completely believe that this thing would exist in its environment, and they've done a very good job, shot to shot, of making it all very believable.
Well,
But that's also why, just before you say it, why I don't like it, because it's so fucking busy. And there's so much crammed into every single shot to make you believe that is there, that it's too much for me. Like, it then throws me out of it again, because I'm like, there's too much dystopia in this 5 seconds.
yeah.
There's too many things on that table. The set designer must have had the most budget out of everyone on the film, because there's so much, and they've done a very good job with it, but I think it went too far. And that whilst the kind of story and all the bits about it is bringing me in, because it's all very believable for a 1995 film. I think it's more believable now than it would have been in 95. I then kind of bounce back again, like I've just bounced off of trampoline, because I'm now getting thrown back because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
So I get what you're saying, and I think the biggest issue that myself and Jem had on this, because we sat down and watched it together, length as well.
Yeah.
It was. You could have cut a good 30 minutes of the beginning.
Absolutely.
You did not need all the exposition that was going on to get the idea of what was going on. It was too up its own arse about trying to explain everything away. We didn't need the constant whining about his ex-girlfriend. That was 5 minutes of exposition max required, not the constant throwbacks that he's got cassettes of her memories laying about, that he's constantly whinging about. It just wasn't required.
She didn't live up to his hype either.
No, but that's possibly the idea of the film, though. So I get what you say.
I think,
but the idea is he's reliving these perfect memories of someone who is imperfect.
Yeah, and I agree. I think you're absolutely right, which is why I'm saying she didn't live up to the hype of it. When you actually see her as like that memory, is it a real memory? Is it as beautiful as he has it recorded?
So to explain the whole film to someone who hasn't seen it, the best way is to actually look at it in modern terms. So although in the film we have something called a squid, which they put on under a hairpiece, and as long as it's touching the skull, it records whatever the person has seen to a little digital recorder box, which uses mini discs, by the way. Love mini discs.
Yeah, I thought it was
greatest media, I think, because it just looks cool anyway. And it records it to mini disc. And you're seeing what's seeing through their eyes. To kind of relate that to real life, imagine you're wearing a VR headset, watching someone's day in their life through, let's say, Ray-Ban Meta Ray-Ban. So you're watching literally eye-level footage as they're looking around. They move their head around.
It's POV, isn't it?
It's what you're seeing. Yeah, you're seeing full-on POV from someone's glasses that are recording. And
but
that's
you're feeling it too. That's the difference.
That's the difference, yeah. The technology right now exists for the visual side. The feeling is the bit that makes it more like the drugs. You're not only experiencing this, and this is why, as much as the exposition at the beginning isn't required, you still need that robbery scene at the beginning, because the idea is that, he's really upset by the fact he's been shown this video of a robbery where people have been murdered for no reason. But he gets the idea of it because it's exhilarating, and he's feeling the heart rate of the person doing it. And that was actually, I can imagine, put off a lot of people. Now, what is your stance on shaky cam films?
I don't really. A lot of the time, I'll get motion sick from that kind of stuff.
Cloverfield, I really struggled with. I enjoy Cloverfield, but I cannot stand the fact it's done on shaky cam. And the very first scene of this film we see is this robbery and this frantic robbery going on. So the footage is shaky. And I just remember we got halfway through that scene, and me and Jim was like, if it's all going to be like this, I don't think I can watch this, because it really was. But what was clever is not every time you see someone's vision, it's like that. And what made it clever was what you're watching. This first scene is frantic, it's manic, it's crazy. And that's why the camera's shaking about. It's not just because
he's
it's
running,
an action. It's because you're feeling this whole frantic, powerful energy this person has. And that's how they're conveying it. Because then when you get the happy memories he's got. Even when he falls over on the skates, it's all nice, smooth camera. The scene, which I know we'll end up talking about later, which is horrendously brutal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cold, calculated murderer. So everything is slow and it's steady. So actually, there's only one part of that whole shaky cam in that film that made me think, am I going to avoid this? And I do think if you've got an aversion to shaky cam, you're going to see that first bit in the scene and think, if this is what this film's about and this is what it's going to be, I can't watch this. And they might turn it off.
Yeah.
Don't, because it gets far better.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, the filming's phenomenal. So it was filmed using an early version of Steadicam with the camera set at eye height. Right. And there's several scenes which I openly say, I said out loud, I'm blown away with how clever this has been done. It must have been done with handoffs and everything like that. So that initial scene of the robbery has been done. There's about 6 or 7 handoffs in it where the camera is just, they get to a dark area. It's not stop filming. They go through the dark area. And during that dark scene, the camera's been handed to the next stunt actor who's then carrying it.
Yeah.
And when he falls off the roof, that's another stunt actor. So the camera gets handed to him as he's running to jump, and you get that beautiful motion. And the rape scene in it, where he goes in that room, climbs over the balcony and round, is all done in one shot. And wow, does it look good. As much as it's a disturbing scene, and I know we'll come to that.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well talk about it now since you've already touched on it. I really struggled because it happens 2 occasions in this film. You see it. So what you see is the point, for those of you who haven't seen it, the point of view. It's a really not only is rape terrible anyway, but a fucked up way to kill someone. So you see the murderer outside of everything else, just to break it down, but you see from his point of view, he's raping somebody. But what makes it worse is he puts the thing,
he puts a headset
on them.
He puts a squid on her.
See themselves being
raped by him.
So
and feeling what he's feeling.
Yeah, so you're trying to get your head around it. You are looking at yourself being raped while feeling the feelings of the rapist. So you're feeling the feelings of the rapist while feeling your own fear and seeing yourself getting raped and strangled to death at the same time. I really fucking struggled with it because I was not expecting it, and
we weren't.
I absolutely detest that stuff in films. You can say whether there's a place for it in films or not. I absolutely hate it, and it happens twice in the film that I had to look away the first time. I didn't the second time because I was like, I've been hit by it the first time. So when it starts happening again the second time, I'm like, okay, just get through it and watch it. And I'm sorry, it might make me sound like a wimp or whatever. It nearly ruined the entire film for me because I hate it that much.
No, absolutely. It's such an emotive and powerful scene, but it's just sheer evilness. And the fact that someone came up with that is the most disturbing bit. So James Cameron, who wrote this along with James Cock or whatever the name was, came up with that idea. And I know throughout history there's been serial killers and psychotic murderers who have made people watch horrible things either happen to their families or happen to them. This just, you're right, it felt like
there's an extra level of sadisticness to it, to do that to somebody and make them experience it at the same, like to just get your head round that.
Rape full stop is bad enough, especially when it's put into a film. But then to add that extra layer of making them suffer through it twice in a different way just felt like it wasn't needed. You could have just had a pure rape scene there without having to make the person that's being killed off experience it in that way, which then in turn makes everyone watch it think, oh my, and just I'm not sure it was required.
When you see, because then Ralph Fiennes' character experiences it too, because he puts the thing on his head
and doesn't he act it beautifully though,
because
the whole
he is both in the same scene at the exact same time. He is feeling disgust and arousal, because he's feeling what the murderer is feeling, which is just I can't get the word out of my head. Just exhilaration and just
Yeah.
he's having the time of his life, and also his own feeling of it, which is absolute fear, disgust, hatred at the same time, and you can see it on his face.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph Fiennes.
He's going in between this kind of yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph Fiennes, full stop, is one of these actors out there that is just truly, truly wonderful. Whatever I've seen him in, often it's phenomenal. Taking it to modern standards, 28 years later, and the next one of that, Bone, whatever it was called.
Temple is called it.
Wow, what an absolute masterpiece he plays within there. I can't think of The Menu. I don't know if you've ever seen it. He plays a chef, and it's the actress that's got the weird eyes, and I sound really bad saying that, but I can't think of what her name is. Anna Taylor-Joy?
I don't know.
Anyway, he plays a chef at a very luxurious island where basically rich people go to eat, but it turns out
Epstein Island?
no. But it turns out that everyone that's been bought there has been bought there for a particular reason, whether it's because they're a cheat or they're
Okay.
And basically he kills off each person cool. There.
Yeah.
And then Anna Taylor-Joy's character is just like, I don't want any of this shit menu. Actually, I just want a burger.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's one of those films, and Strange Days, interestingly, matches it in the same style. Whereas, and actually, No Country for Old Men, which we've not finished yet, but has the same feeling, which is this is dragging, but I don't care and I can't look away.
Mm-hmm.
I know that this feels long, but it feels like it should be anyway, and I don't mind. Whereas it's completely in I can't think of a film now off the top of my head, but what in some films is like, this feels long and I am not enjoying it. Whereas these three films, just those three specifically, feel long and I love it and I'm there for it and I'm not going to turn it off. I want to stay watching. And Strange Days, as much as it did drag, I also didn't want to look away. I did want to carry on watching it.
I sat there and focused on it. I wasn't doing anything else in the meantime. I was focusing on it. I want to say there's a very good, well acted, interesting scene, kind of near the end, where Ralph Fiennes gets into a nightclub. And he goes up into like some kind of security room. There's a guy in there with loads of screens around.
Oh, that's a beautiful scene.
They do a trade, don't they? And he gives him one. And then you see this guy, you haven't seen throughout the film at all, watches, I think he's running on a beach.
So the point is when you first see him in there, he's got no legs. He's below the knee amputee.
Mm.
So, yeah. So,
and in the memory that he gets, he's running on a beach and a beautiful woman is just running past and they have a slight interaction and she continues running
and
past.
He's just in absolute floods of tears.
Yeah, and then you get this shot of him enjoying the moment and then it's over and a sadness comes across his face. And there's this emotion, it's so beautifully acted. Like, it's so weird that I'm saying this about this film.
Is he sad or is he so happy that he's just managed to have this feeling that he's not had for so long?
And it's such a small, insignificant part of the film.
Yeah.
But to just see all these people are displayed as addicts and everything throughout the whole film, except this moment, you just see actually here's somebody who just wants to experience a moment.
Yeah, a moment that he'll never have again.
Exactly, a moment he can never have again. And the way I felt it was a sadness comes across him when it's over. And
I would say
I pitied him at the end of it. That's the feeling it gave me.
And it's such a tiny scene.
Yeah,
but it's so important because Ralph Fiennes up to that point, you feel no sympathy for him because you think, actually, he's just a bit of a prick.
Mm.
You've just fucked over Mace, Angela Bassett's character, with meeting up with a Japanese businessman.
Yeah.
You've just screwed her over and put her in a bad mood.
Mm.
Everything you're doing is about you. And then you suddenly get this one scene where you actually get the idea that he's not all bad. And that's when the character starts then expanding. You start realizing, okay, so he isn't just this prick, this person peddling whatever he can.
Mm.
He has got something more to him. And I feel without that few seconds of a scene, that may have been the death of the character, full stop.
Yeah.
Now, Angela Bassett's character, we haven't talked about, so Mace, she turns up about quarter of the way in, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she's just this hard-ass, no shit-taking, fantastic female character.
She's great in the whole film. I loved her. I think she's like my favourite character in the whole
No,
thing.
absolutely. She's got her son at home, her ex-husband's in jail for what he did.
Mhm.
And yeah, she basically bails him out every time because as the story goes on, you find out he's the one that was looking after her kid when her husband was caught, was it dealing drugs or whatever it was in the house?
Something, yeah.
And they've got this affinity over it, and she kind of feels like she owes him something, and there's obviously the emotions of and love going on there that neither of them want to really admit to. And it's just an absolutely wonderful role because she portrays it so brilliantly. She portrays this, I'm a strong, independent woman, but then also manages to portray, I love this man, but then also I'm not going to accept that love because I need to look after my son more than anything. So you've got mother, lover, independent, all in one character. And she just exudes every single part of it.
What she is something that I've complained so much. Anyone that's listened to all of these shows, she is a well-written, well-acted female character who...
What, you mean she's not blonde, white, and screaming all the time as soon as something goes bang?
She is... The character's been treated like a lot of these people treat the male characters. Like a fucking human. You know, not just being used as this damsel in distress. If anything, Ralph Fiennes is the damsel in distress.
Yes.
He's bailing him out all the fucking time.
100%.
She's constantly like, get your head out your fucking arse. Stop obsessing over this woman. Because it does feel like his obsessions with his ex is the reason why he's in the position he's in. You know, he was like a very well-respected cop. Even his mate, who turns out to be the fucking arse of the film, is even saying to him, you used to be a cop. You know, now you're doing this.
You should be able to do better than this. And obviously, Max obviously turns out to be the bad guy, which it becomes pretty obvious about the halfway mark that there's something not right.
And then and the funny thing is, so you said earlier about them hiding the thing under their wigs. That guy is bald in everything.
Yeah.
Right? He's bald in real life. And he had this wig, and the whole time I was like, that's a fucking shit wig. This guy's bald. And I kind of forgot about it. And then when you get the reveal where he pulls the wig off and he's actually he's the murderer, and he's got the thing under his tooth, I was like, of course. I knew he was bald. How did I didn't see that. For me, that was a mic drop moment. I had a feeling he was the baddie because it was just, you know, just the kind of way it was all setting up. It felt like that it was probably going to be someone like him, you know, who's always around.
Yeah.
But like that pulling the wig off. All right, didn't Ralph Fiennes pull the wig off him or something?
I think it kind of falls off when he throws him off, doesn't
or something.
it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, of course. I mean, for me, penny drop moment, you know. And the classic scene of the bad blue screen of him falling to his death, but that's all pretty classic for that. It's like, Die Hard. Yeah, all those films were doing that kind of stuff.
I mean,
yeah,
I think before we kind of talk about the other bits we like, I think the biggest issue with this film for me, tonally, there's too much going on. A bit like you said at the very beginning about the environments being too loaded. What was this trying to be? Was it trying to be cyberpunk? Was it being a noir thriller? Was it being political? Was it romance? Was it serial? Was it a mystery? There's so much going on that it needed just to kind of sit with one of them. I can understand why they didn't, because if you'd start with just the cyberpunk element, it wouldn't have worked. Where would you have gone with it? You needed to throw in something like the sexual assault, the murder into it.
Well, also the massive, we're completely bypassing the whole racial tension of it as well, because that's like a huge part of it.
But that's what I was just coming to that now then. The bit that I can understand why people are, when they discover it in recent years, and I've got it listed here, the social themes...
the N-bomb that they do right near the start.
Yeah.
the hard N-bomb.
The social themes to this then. 1995, let's think about it. There are always issues. That's right. There's been issues. We know that. But you've got police brutality. You've got racial injustice. You've got civil unrest. You've got systemic corruption, voyeuristic consumption of violence.
These are good notes you've made here. I see
Yeah,
you're
I've
reading
made a
off your
handful of
phone.
notes. And yeah, back in 95, they might have hit hard then. Are they going to necessarily hit harder now? And I think the answer is yes, which is why discovering this film and watching it now, there's a lot you can kind of say, I know this is meant to be in the past, but fuck me, it feels very, very current.
I mean, when this came out, I was only 10, so I wouldn't have understood any of it. But it'd be interesting if I was a 40-year-old man in 95 and watched this, and also a 40-year-old man now and watched it, what I would think of it. Do you know what I mean? In both scenarios, I'd love to hear it from somebody who was a grown adult and how this film sat with them at that time period compared to how it sits now, like what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, one of the other things that I think is really fun about it, 95, and we get basically virtual reality.
Mhm.
We get body cameras
Mhm.
and surveillance footage.
Yep.
Live streamed violence.
Mhm.
What else have I got here? Social media, but with real experiences pretty much going on.
Yep.
And again, virtual reality I've put twice. But yeah, these were things in 95. Virtual reality was limited to this giant big black pod with a giant black headset that you saw a couple of polygons in front of you and wow, I can interact with that. Amazing.
Mm.
Or Craig Charles might shout a wooger at you with whatever his show was called, and I can't remember what the name of the show was now. But this literally has got things that we now just take for granted. Body-worn cameras. So I said earlier, Ray-Ban Metas, capturing your day-to-day life, and people are then just sticking it straight on social media and looking, oh, look at this theft I saw in Kensington High Street, someone stealing from Tesco's, or someone being beaten up, and I've just taken a step back and I'm filming on my camera. This film has predicted that. That is exactly what is happening, and it's being sold to a market of people that want to watch it. And what do we have? We have TikTok, we have YouTube, and that's same footage of these horrible things happening just end up on there for people to consume.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible link to make back, but it predicted that.
Yeah, I the cyberpunk element of it, when I this isn't the era of cyberpunk I like. It's so I like the further on, like the game Cyberpunk. I like the full-on body mod Cyberpunk. That's
Johnny Mnemonic.
yeah, that's the
starring
kind of
Keanu
Cyberpunk I
Reeves.
like. So this is for me. It's kind of like the beginning stages of Cyberpunk.
I would suggest this is nowhere near Cyberpunk.
But
It's
that's
been
what
labelled
they're
as that.
classing it as, which is why I don't really. I think maybe I wouldn't class it there. I think it's because they're just needing to call it something.
Yeah,
Because I would call Cyberpunk body mod cyber.
Yeah.
You know,
I would have said for this to be Cyberpunk, I would have expected to have seen
people jacking
high-end
in.
laptops and telecommunication that wasn't just not using old-fashioned TVs, all of that. I would have expected to have seen a little bit of maybe towards things like Blade Runner.
Well, I'd say Matrix is more cyberpunk in that, you know, like he's got the ports and I know it's been put in by the AI.
Existence.
But, you know, yeah, those things are more
Yeah,
it, I think.
this felt like they've used the label of cyberpunk when really
It's certainly
what they mean.
sci-fi.
It's
Yeah.
science fiction, but it's been mislabeled as cyberpunk because
It's just
that
technology.
one thing of the squid
Yeah.
is not enough to call it cyberpunk, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's
so
not
you're saying
enough.
Existence is cyberpunk.
Existence is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you've got that weird bio
The
modding. It's
jelly
all about a computer game and
Squidgy thing you shove in your... This is the thing you're having sex with. That's what just... the
But-
fuck pod.
yeah, exactly. That even then, to an extent, I'm not sure you could strictly
Yeah,
call
that's
it
what I'm thinking.
cyberpunk,
I'm
because
wondering
you're
about
right.
Existence. I don't
As
know
much
if
as it's a body mod thing, there's still not enough technology behind it for you to. I kind of see cyberpunk being masses of technology that doesn't exist in the time that you're recording it. So things like holograms, flat laptops, mobile phones with giant screens.
I think
like we
Blade
have
Runner.
now.
I think Blade
Blade Runner's a good
I think
example
Blade
of
Runner would
cyberpunk.
be. Yeah, I think Blade Runner is. Wow. Okay. So with all that, Oh, I'm so glad that we've done this roulette thing because we never would have watched this ever.
No,
What a great. I think we've had a really nice conversation about this film.
Yeah.
But coming away from it, did you actually enjoy it? Would you recommend someone watch it? What do you think?
Absolutely. If you're looking for a film to sit down and actually pay attention to, so often we end up saying a film is, oh, it's background trash. Put it on, you'll enjoy it, but it doesn't need you to closely pay attention. Whereas this one, it's a slog. You are going to feel it at the end, but I do feel that the conclusion of the film is worthwhile because the ending is, again, it's done brilliantly. It's an ending you do not expect.
You get rewarded
because the ending
for persevering for it. Yeah.
It's all over the place because you don't know. Suddenly you're thrown into turmoil. Is it actually going to work out now? Isn't it going to work out? I mean, we haven't even talked about the fact that one of the two police officers in it that are basically core to the police brutality, killing the music artist and then going after them.
They're both pretty fucking big actors.
They're both huge actors. I'm really, really quickly going to look them up because I want to get their names right.
So one of them is Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, who you will know from Men in Black, from oh my
He's
god,
Kingpin in the new Daredevil stuff.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's
Full
in
Metal
Metal
he's
Jacket.
Private Pile in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
He's in The Cell. He's in a huge number of films, and he's immediately recognisable. And then you've got his compatriot William Fichtner, who you will again have seen and know anything. He's Colonel William Sharp, I think his name is, in Armageddon. He's in Black Hawk Down. He's in Drive Angry.
Everything. That guy.
He is one of those actors. Yeah, he's always a bit part, but it's a big bit part. It's a bit part that's required for the film to progress, rather than just being a bit part.
Everyone would know it. If you don't know his name, you know him.
As soon as you see him, you'd go, "Oh, the one that vaguely looks like."
He's like a Kevin Bacon. You know what I mean? He's in everything.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, who does he? I know in my head, I know it's absolutely not him. He's budget Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't look like him. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
There's just something about him that's very. Anyway, would I recommend it? Yeah, I absolutely would, but with the caveat, you would need to be sitting down. You need to kind of watch it in one go because I feel it's not one you can split.
Yeah, you've got to watch the whole thing. Yeah,
you're going to have to watch the whole thing, and you really have to be in the mood for a fairly brutal film that requires you to think. It's not one that you can just sit down and half-arse your way through because there's a lot to make the connections and to feel what the director, the writers, and actually what the characters are meant to be feeling. You have to pay attention.
Yeah, you got to focus on the whole thing, or you are going to miss stuff because it kind of slips important bits into you in between the drudgery of some of the other bits. I'm the same. I agree with you. I know I have made my comments about some of the aesthetics of it, and I really, really, really was against those two scenes, but that's what the film is. And overall, it makes you really hate the fucking bad guy. And at the end of the day, you want to hate the bad guy. There was no shades of grey on that bad guy.
Nope, it does it perfectly.
Here, the girl that he's chasing is actually a complete cunt. Again, there's no shades of grey with her either. You think that she's being manipulated. She ain't. She's an arsehole too.
Yeah.
She's one of the instigators of the whole fucking thing, She
knew exactly what's going on from day one.
She has no redeeming characteristic by the end of it. I do recommend it for all the exact same reasons of you. As you said, I recommend it. Watch it all the way through. Don't go on your phone. Just muscle through some of it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I'm just going to say, I'm hoping people that are just joining the show now and have listened to the old episodes realise we've actually managed to talk just over 30 minutes for this film.
That's impressive, yeah.
And we've actually been making, in my opinion, valid points anyway. Maybe people won't agree with us, but...
What the fucking hell do we care what other people think?
No, but this is the point. Going on films that we know...
Yeah.
We've never spoken for this long. It's always been good, so go and watch it. I'd hope people will feed back to us and go, actually, no, this has made it so much more interesting actually hearing about the film.
I hope so, because as we said, that we would never have chosen this before. I'm so glad we chose. I never would have watched it in a million years. And yeah, as you say, please let us know if you've liked us talking about this one, and I hope whatever we get on the next one is as good.
Well, fingers crossed. Let's find out.
Transfer complete.
Right, so here we are, Untitled Roulette. Let's see if we get something as good, shall we?
So I'll spin it. We need to discuss the rules of if it's something we've already seen.
Then you just spin again.
Okay, fine. Here we go. Right. Aliens.
Yeah, we've seen that. Spin again.
And what's annoying is that's literally spun that twice because I accidentally then.
Yeah, we got Aliens in front of the first time.
District 9.
District 9. We've spoke about it, but
we've not watched it for the show.
It's been on Guess the Intro as well, but we haven't watched it for the show. District 9. Cool.
So District 9, 2009. Blomkamp, I think the director is.
Let me get it up.
Great film. I've seen it. I saw it at the cinema. I was very blown away with it the first time I saw it. Features people that you'll immediately recognise. So Sholto Copley is the Vickers van der Meer.
Right.
Who, again, you'll recognise him from various films.
Yeah, well, the 80s as well.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp is the director. And it did very well. Scored 7.9 on IMDb. Let's see if we agree.
I remember really liking it. I think I've got it on Blu-ray too.
Yeah, I think I've got it on.
So I won't need to download that from anywhere. I've got it.
Old-fashioned media, which will save us a bit of money.
In fact, I might have it on DVD rather than Blu-ray. Anyway, it's upstairs somewhere. I'll find it. Yeah, I remember really liking it. And I'm sure I'll like it again.
I'm sure we will.
Command functions are offline.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you. A very special thank you to our Ko-Fi supporters. That is Karen, that is James, and that is Oddtrots. Thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you to everybody that always shares our stuff. I'm going to write them down, I think, for next time. We've got a lot of people that share a lot of my sci-fi posts very frequently on the old socials. So thank you to you if you do actually listen. But yeah, we are Studio Channel 84. We are part of an indie podcast network. We also have another show called The Variety Show. And as I always say, that's like, I feel like is our main one. But also part of our network, we have Karen and Adam from Lightly Used. We have Ross and Simon from... Oh, shit.
Who takes the socks off?
Fuck, I was really
Why is it so hard? I really don't understand why.
I was so confident that I was going to get it right. I was even saying it fast. I was so confident. You can contact all of us. You can find all of the social media information on channel84.co.uk. But specifically for TJ and I, it's tj@channel84.co.uk or rob@channel84.co.uk or both of us together, podcasts@channel84.co.uk. Look out for streams on the Tom and Rob in the Studio on YouTube. Resident Evil Requiem will be on there soon. I'm going to organise with Tom. Going to watch me playing it.
Absolutely.
Could probably get Miranda play it a bit more because obviously as soon as I start playing it, she then won't be able to. So it might be after people have heard this on next week. It might be a week after. So I'm probably I'll miss the time that's probably good to have it on YouTube. But you know, we're not really about that, are we? We're just doing it for fun. But yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks with conversations about District 9. Maybe we'll watch another Star Trek before then. And you'll hear us next week on The Variety Show. Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you very much, darling.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Sci-Fi Show. This station is now shutting down and will be back in 2 weeks. May the Force live long and prosper inside of you. This was a Studio Channel 84 network show. To find more, head over to channel84.co.uk now.